we're here in LA, and you guys know we cover Hollywood, we cover any happenings here. We were here top of the year. How did things start out? We had a huge fire. We had the LA fires. We were right in the middle. A lot of people were running away from it. We ran to it. We wanted to show you guys what was going on. So after that, as you guys know, we've been covering the ICE raids and the protests. And as we saw, real protesters showing up, and then you had provocateurs being placed into the crowd. You guys know the drill, but this was always about manufacturing consent for the MAGA base, not just for immigration. They already got that. They already got him with that. That's one of the main things Trump campaigned on, and he did it. This is one of the things he actually came through on. He said, I'm going to do this, and he did it. But it's also about manufacturing consent for the technocracy state, the digital ID state, which we have to get both parties on board for. So this is how you do that, and you bring in Palantir. So you guys know the whole drill. But sometimes we forget about the human discussion on this, and we look at the macro, and we show you guys this is what they're telling us, this is what they really mean. So in the case of the ICE raids in LA, I have to admit something. We thought it was only going to be temporary. We thought it was about getting that big beautiful bill going and getting the Palantir contracts in place, and then they would back off. But that didn't quite happen. Not here in LA. And LA is basically the epitome of all of the way that things are conducted here is going to be conducted around the rest of the country. So we have to look here first, and then you see all the other cities, all the other states fall into line. So when we saw that not too long ago, we had some massive police presence, ICE presence that out of nowhere just showed up right here, very close to us. It's called MacArthur Park. So we're going to show you guys a little bit about what happened here. Here's the original overshot of them arriving.
News here. This is in MacArthur Park. Scott Reif is in Air 7 HD. And Scott, we have a lot going on. We haven't seen much in the way of detentions at this point, but we see a lot of confrontation. What are you seeing?
Okay, so the ABC, local ABC, they're not going to give you the best take on this, but I'll tell you this. This is they're doubling down right now, right here on it's a fear campaign is what it is. So those that go out in the street to protest this, we support that here on the Homeless Left. We think you should be protesting this. Nobody is being arrested for an actual crime. What's happening is people are being harassed. They're being run out of the area. They're being run out of their jobs. This is what's actually happening, and it's affecting us, everybody here in LA, because LA, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, but it's the Latino population is massive here. So everybody at least knows somebody who's affected by this. And so it's not only affecting our well-being and people's ability to leave their homes, but it's affecting the production, the workforce as well. And we're going to get that to a second, but let me zoom in closer here and show you guys a little bit more of what it looks like from the ground. So anybody on the right now, and I just want to be very clear here, guys. This is a fear campaign. I'm telling you guys right now, this is a fear campaign. And if you think this is normal and you think that this is what we need all of our cities to have, is this type of behavior here in not just here in LA, but everywhere, because it doesn't stop here. Again, it's about you try it out, you see, you kind of put your finger to the wind, you get a sense of the response, and then you double down in all the other cities and you do that. The other thing you guys got to understand is that it looks like on one hand, the LAPD would probably push back at this. No, they're assisting. They're assisting. Here's Karen Bass telling us. I am going to say. Karen Bass going to pretend that she has a problem with this and doing something about it, but she's not actually doing something about it. Check this out.
Mayor Bass, I need to get my phone and we're departing.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mayor Bass.
Mayor Bass.
Oh my
Any
God.
comment, Mayor Bass?
Thank you.
Mayor Bass, any comment?
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now. They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Who did you speak with?
Just wait and see.
Mayor Bass,
They will be leaving soon.
Mayor Bass, who did you speak with on the phone just now? Who did you speak with on the phone?
They had a custom.
Wow.
Yeah, she's not that great. She's not the best performer. She went dead air back at the fires. You guys remember that? She didn't have her script in front of her, so she didn't know how to respond. So she just went completely mute. That was funny. That was incredible that she got away with that one back in January. But here, this was well rehearsed. She had her line ready to go. We're pissed. We want them out. No, they're not. They're not leaving. You know why? Because you know how we know this? Because the LAPD contributes to supporting ICE, and this is how we know.
Look at LAPD Nazis. LAPD come to back up ICE.
So this is it. This is the system we have. It's pretend the leaders we elect, they're pretending to do something about it. They're not doing anything about it. ICE can basically do whatever they want, and they have been doing whatever they want. And this is the part, the human part, that's most important, and why we have to remind you guys and don't lose that human part. People's lives are affected by this. Their families are affected, their friends, their neighbors, because ICE can go around on their own with no identity. By the way, that's the key. They don't have to identify themselves. This is how gangs behave. This is how thugs behave. They don't have to do anything. They can come in, and they've been doing it. They've been coming into elementary schools, graduations, everywhere. And even though Trump put out a video, there was a moment right before the No Kings March, and he put out a little thing and said, we're going to look into cutting back on the hospitality industry, cutting back on the service industry. We don't want to focus ICE on those areas because we need the workers. And he was right to say that. At the end of that, he said, I'm going to look into doing it. So he didn't do it. He said, I'm going to look at it. Well, apparently he looked at it and then didn't do it. So I admit we got that wrong here. We thought he was going to cut back because you can't have your service industries destroyed just because you're trying to play these games about manufacturing consent for digital ID system, which is what he's doing for his base. And the base took it hook, line, and sinker. They said, bring in Palantir. Show those Angelinos, those disrespectful, out of control protesters. How dare they? Teach them a lesson. Put everybody on a digital ID system, a supercomputer, which is what they're doing. That's happening. Okay, back to the human part. Here we are. There's no sign of this stopping. We have workers that are pushing back, and we're looking at that right now. But the most important part is you think about the families and the people that are affected. Our service industry is affected 100%. People don't want to leave the house. People that are doing nothing wrong. Again, this isn't about going after criminals. It's about going after people that are doing nothing wrong, that just want to go to work. They've been here for years and years and years. And now they're scared to leave their house. And what happens? The service industry is affected. The hospitality industry is affected. Small mom and pop businesses are affected. So let's hear it. I'm not going to tell you anymore from my point of view. I want to hear it from people actually affected by it because they're in the service industry themselves. And this is leading to our next guest, which I'm so happy to have the opportunity to sit down with them. It's called World Harvest, and it's I'm going to let them talk about it themselves, but this is what every community needs, is people doing work on the ground against the corporate system, providing food, providing everything you could possibly want from a grocery a store, and just that neighborhood friendly service, and giving you your produce for cheap, and giving back to the community. These guys check all the boxes. They're good friends of mine. I'm just very happy to have them have a chance to come on and tell their story. Please welcome to the show, Glen and Krissia. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hey, Matt.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Glen, Krissia, thanks for taking your time out of your day. I know you guys have been living through this last several months, just like we have here, and have a personal story behind it. I would like to first, so people know about the store, about World Harvest and what you guys do. We'll just start it off with, can you guys tell us about World Harvest and how it came to be, and the unique elements that you bring to the LA community?
Well, hi Matt, how are you? You
Great,
know,
great fun. Good, good.
I had to throw the shaka sign out there,
Oh,
for
nice.
everybody, hang loose.
I love it.
And right now we can only hang loose at this point. I started this project over 18 years ago, and we've been doing it since, and we've been helping so many Angelinos, and not just Angelinos. We have people that come from Victorville and San Diego and all over the place, just to pick up groceries. We're not your grandmother's food bank, okay? Um, why I say that? We don't give you a bag. You see the cart with the heart behind us? You get a shopping cart, and we don't mess around. Um, we're not here to take away your dignity. In fact, we want to give you dignity. When you walk in here, it feels like you're walking in somebody's home, and it doesn't feel like, oh, you're here for a handout. Here's a bag. Now get out of here. You get to choose. Everything that we get here comes from the distribution warehouses of, I can't say it, mention it, but the top five big,
Mm.
chain stores, and high end. And we're talking, most everything that we get in here is certified organic.
Talk about not just you're just helping the community, but you're giving people a way that they can feel like that it's not just every day we have these corporations trying to ruin our lives with the profit over people method. You guys are challenging that profit over people method. Tell us more about how this works here, people coming into the store and what they're able to get from this experience.
Yeah, definitely, Matt. What makes us different, like Glenn was sharing, is the quantity of food, as you see here on the screen. Through our Cart with a Heart program, anybody can come into our facility. We're located in Arlington and Venice. Anybody can come and access all the food here. And like Glenn was mentioning, what makes us different from traditional food banks is that we give choice and dignity back to community who may be struggling to afford groceries. So as you can see here, we have lines of carts that are pre-packaged with bread, coffee, drinks, different goods, and it's all assorted items. And every week or every day we get something different. So as you see here, we have all of this quantifiable, organic and fresh produce, and we give the choice back to our community by allowing community members to choose what they want and what they need, what suits their needs best for their homes. They're able to get as many fruits and vegetables, herbs, and different items as much as they would like to take home. And we have a lot of community members that share one cart with multiple family members in their household. And so you see here one of our shoppers just gathering and putting everything in their cart. And like Glenn mentioned, you get the entire cart. You get to fill that entire cart with goods that we have here. And aside from the produce and vegetable and bread, we also have a protein section that's administered by one of our staff members that provides each shopper or each person that has a cart their allotted amount of protein. And usually it's different assorted items. It could be chicken. Sometimes we have some organic tofu and different items like that. We also have ready to eat foods that are packaged and fresh and frozen. As you can see there in the corner, we get donations from different places and also restaurants. So we have that section at our site where our staff member pre-packages and adds a little bit extra at the end of each cart so that everybody leaves with something. We also include grains like rice and beans and so many different items. Like we said, right, every day or every week can be different of what you get, but you always get the staples. You always get produce, grains and breads, and also protein. And that goes home with every single family that comes through our door.
Wow. I mean, it's incredible. And being there myself, I can say, I mean, it's quite phenomenal. And the experience walking in, it's like, so guys, if you think about it, it's the complete opposite of your experience at going to like the unnamed ones, the Ralphs and the Luckies and the Albertsons and all that stuff. It's it's a completely different experience. And I was so impressed when going in there, and Leslie introduced me to you guys, and like we've known each other for a long time now because we go way back. But I just want our audience to know, like, these are the type of small businesses. What I would say, this charity here that you're running. This is not just a great opportunity for people to have this experience, but it's become an essential cornerstone for the LA community. I mean, that's the part that I think I want to drive this point home, because this is the type of thing that you can't just say, oh well, we kind of no. You guys have had this an essential place that keeps the community intact and keeps it functioning, because people rely on this and they have no other way other than this, and that's why it's been such a important part of the LA community. So I guess my question to you right now, because we were talking up front about the ICE raids and how that's affected this community of LA and obviously other places around the country, but primarily in this community with what you guys have been doing. How has these raids affected farm and service workers, which I guess would directly affect what you're doing with World Harvest?
Yeah, we've definitely seen a huge impact. I mean, our community has really been shaking up by all of this ICE activity. A lot of the families that we serve are afraid to leave their homes, not only because they might identify as someone that doesn't have the proper documentation to be here, but also people that look like Latinos, right? That's the predominant community that's being affected at this time. And a lot of these families and community members are not only afraid to take their kids to school, to go to work, but also to access places like World Harvest and come and shop to get their essential groceries for the week. We've seen a huge downturn of the amount of community members that we have at our site. We're at around 20% of what we usually have in our communities. And already we know that the people that come here, like I mentioned at the top of the show, right? We don't have any type of requirement. You do not need ID. You do not need proof of income. Anybody can come and access our services. But because of the amount of food and how accessible and affordable it is, and I'll talk a little bit more about the affordability, because of that, we already know that a lot of the people that come here are struggling to meet their day-to-day needs or to even pay rent. So now if they're losing work, if they're not even able to make ends meet for rent, then they're definitely not able to come and shop for food at any other big chain store, right? And so we're seeing that a lot of people are not coming in, our regular customers or our regular clients. We don't see them. We haven't seen them for about a month since this has been going on. And a lot of families are forced to choose between their safety or their family safety and being able to access food. And we do partner with different organizations in and around Los Angeles. And, they're sharing the same things to us. A lot of families are making that tough choice as to who is going to make the risk of going out to the store and getting food and the possibility of them not coming back. So we're hearing a lot of heartbreaking stories. And then now with the impact to farm workers and potential strikes with farm workers, we're in full support of our farm workers. We definitely understand their demands. And even still, we support them more, especially because what they're demanding is dignity within themselves and the work that they've been doing for multiple years. And so it's a very difficult situation to be in as a service provider in the community. We want to be there for our community, and we are trying our best to partner, to work with other organizations, with schools, but also reach out to community members to support us so that we can continue supporting others. We have operational costs and deliveries and picking up all the amazing produce that you saw, and to keep our doors open, we need the support from the community. And, we're very thankful for the opportunity to speak with you today, because we want to get the word out, not only about our services and our programs, but for others to support us if they can, if they're outside LA, or even if you live within LA as well.
Yeah. And I want to say, before all this chaos started these last couple of months, and you guys have been, and I can vouch for this, I've seen you guys look for ways to help whatever group is struggling for whatever reason. So like, I'll even just throw out that, and our audience knows this, that we, for the last few years, we went through the SAG strikes, along with, the WGA. And so all the industry people that were affected, and they couldn't get, they couldn't afford groceries. They were struggling. And you guys, somehow you were able to put this arrangement together to say, hey, if you're an industry worker affected, come in. We're going to figure out a way to make this work. And when you guys showed the footage of the cards and everything being filled up, I mean, there were people I remember, because I know my own colleagues and actors that were, they already were struggling, and now they're told no work. We're striking. Yeah. We're striking. Yeah. You guys provided that essential outlet for them to stick with it. And one could argue it even helped strengthen something like a strike, because that people were showing up to do the fight, and they were fed, and they weren't worried about, they didn't spend their rent money on lunch, and they were able to still not be evicted somehow and still show up, get their t-shirt, their sign, and do the thing they wanted to fight for without being afraid. But now what you mentioned, this part, this is concerning. You're talking about people being afraid to leave the house, who up until now were just living their lives normally, doing normal things that people do in a functioning community. One would be who's driving to grab the groceries. Now that becomes a problem. Everyone is suffering. What kind of adjustments has World Harvest made in the response to this fear campaign that we're clearly seeing unfold, and it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon? What have you figured? Are you trial and erroring things? How are you able to communicate with the people that are petrified right now? Just looking, anything working for you in that regard?
Well, you know what, Matt, like you said, during the SAG-AFTRA strike, we had, like, on a daily basis, 200, 300 people that came in here while they were striking. And that went on for like, what, a year, 6 months, a year. And it was day after day after day. Now, what's happening now is the other side of the spectrum. You're not talking about 200-300 families running in here because, of ICE. They're hiding out. And then sometimes I'll see somebody and say, hey, I didn't see you for almost a month. They're like, oh yeah, well, you know what? I only take one day to do all my chores, and this is my list, and I run out, get them all done, and run back home.
We've tried to have as much support out in the community as possible. One of the biggest things that we've been doing is outreaching to community, doing things like this, posting on our social media about the partnerships that we're able to offer different nonprofits or other organizations that are trying to support. We also made a call out to all advocates in the community. We saw a lot of community mobilization and organizing of different advocates going out and doing deliveries themselves. And we were reaching out, letting them know, hey, come to World Harvest, come and see what we can offer you, because you might be spending $300, $400 or more at a regular store, and you're not going to get as much items, essential items, right? And we were seeing that, a lot of community organizers were getting chips and different dry goods and things like that. But with World Harvest, what we wanted to share is you can get produce here, you can get protein, you can get household essentials that typically that's what our community goes and buys at other stores, right? food that they can cook at home and make their traditional foods, right? So we were advertising that this is something that is more cost effective for their programs or what they were trying to do and help in the community. And we're still doing that. We're still outreaching to different community advocates to come and participate and provide the contribution to our charity and get everything that they're looking for only a $50 contribution, instead of going to a regular box chain store and getting half of what we would provide for a lot more. And so that's how our program works, our Cart with a Heart program. That cart that you saw at the beginning, we have anybody can come in. There's no requirements, and we only ask for a $50 contribution to our nonprofit, to our charity, and that helps us continue to provide these essential foods and groceries for our community, like as you see here in the video. So we have been trying to do as much as possible. We've been partnering with different organizations that are also doing deliveries. And as you can see by the quantity of the food, like I mentioned too, we have a lot of advocates that are coming in and getting one cart and delivering to about 4 families. And they do that either on a weekly basis or they come every so often. And they're doing those deliveries themselves to help sustain the families that are in need right now and are afraid to go out, even to the regular grocery store, to get what they need for their household.
Yeah. We have this is a good question we have from one of our viewers. I'm just going to throw this one up now, but can people volunteer? Is that?
Yes,
Definitely.
No.
When I started this project 18 years ago, let me give you a little backstory on that. My my grandma and my grandpa, they were rice farmers back in Taiwan. Okay. And and the way it works way back when is when it's harvesting, everybody helps and each other. And one day, I was probably maybe 7-8 years old. My grandma at night, as if she didn't have enough to do, she has a little noodle stand right by the bus stop, and she made the best. They call it ganmian, which is like dry noodles, but wow. And every night I would be over there playing around. And one night there's this fellow that came in, and he's eating a bowl of ganmian, in the corner. And I said, "Grandma, who's that?" And she says, "Oh, that's Mr. So and so." So what he does is he comes and helps me clean up, and in turn, I give him a bowl of noodles. I said, "Oh, okay, whatever." Fast forward 40 years, I guess, right? 18 years ago, same thing. It was $20 for that same basket that you saw. And that's not staged. That's real stuff that people are putting on there. I bet anybody that your last Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner, when you went to Ralph's or Vaughn's or, Whole Foods, it didn't look like that. Okay. That would have cost you $400 or $500. So this fellow comes in, and I said, "Hey, we're not funded, we're not grant driven. We asked for a $20 donation back 18 years ago, and minimum wage was, I think, just a little bit over $5." And he goes, "Oh, I don't have the money." And it was so weird, that whole scenario, the whole scene at my grandmother's noodle house, it just came back to me. And I said, "Would you mind helping me sweep and clean and just kind of sort, you know, good apple and bad apple? If you watch Sesame Street, which of these don't belong together?" Okay, you should know, right? And it was that easy. And the guy looks at me and he starts tearing up, and he said, "You would do that for me?" And I said, "Heck yeah. If you're willing to help me, I'll help you." And hence the volunteer system for food, and it gives people dignity. It's not a handout, come over here. And then of course we still have the people who call us and they say, wait, you know, where's my free food? It should be blah blah blah. And I said, well, we do this food bank a little different. And this way you're gonna walk out with $400 or $500 of food.
Yeah. Wow.
And well, I think the story should end there, right?
No, well, I mean, I can attest, and you
Yeah.
guys saw the audience. You guys have seen the footage, the cart. You guys literally fill this thing up to the top. I mean, can you imagine anybody at, at any of these like
At
big
Whole
games,
Foods?
like doing? It's like the
Yeah.
opposite. They want to make they
Right.
check your bags on the way out. Like, you make sure you got the minimal as possible. Everything. So everything's it's in the reverse. And I go back to this model, this people over profit model, which we just don't live in. That's just not how our economy is designed. So it takes this extra effort for people like you doing a charity like this, like World Harvest, to counter that idea that we always, for whatever reason, our system likes to just put profit over people. And it's like, F you. It's the customer service. It's not, no. When your business model is racking up prices and saying every man for himself, and then shortchanging, not to mention the health part. I think that's the part we don't want to overlook. That the part about that you want to focus on foods that actually help people, not get them sick. So we can go on and on about that topic, but absolutely, being here in LA, this is the place we want to shop. We do shop at there, and I think that other people that need to know how to also get to where you are and to participate however they can, even if they're not in the LA area. So I'm gonna put the banner up here, this so people know they can go to the website, worldharvestfoodbank.org. I'll keep that up for a little bit here, and we're gonna I have a few more questions for you, but just want to make sure people know how they can connect with you as they're learning about this. But I did have a one more question about in regards to how are you responding to the current state? Because again, we're understanding that it's less people showing up because of the fear. You're doing outreach with community, with different groups, to try and keep the conversation, let people know it's. I mean, I guess you can't really say it's 100% safe to leave your house and come here. You can't say that with certainty, but you can give them the support they need, maybe the mental support, like, hey, it's okay, like let's seize the day, take a risk, come in here, we will be supportive, we will be accommodating. Other than that, I guess my question would be, do you see any other way the workers are able to fight back? I guess I was made aware that there was an actual workers' strike. Is that something? Can you tell us about that and how effective that has been so far?
Yeah, and that's been a little bit of the challenge for us in responding to this. We want to help our community as much as we possibly can. And we've had a lot of people call and ask if we do deliveries ourselves, and unfortunately we're not at that capacity yet. For our volunteer program, like Glenn mentioned, right, you can come in and volunteer for 4 hours and you will receive a cart as part of your benefit, right? So that's one way we're encouraging community, come and volunteer, help us out, fill in some of the gaps that even ourselves we're experiencing. And other than that, we're trying to work with different organizations that are out doing deliveries themselves and partnering with them to provide food boxes. And if any of your viewers know any organization that is doing this type of work, the delivery portion, definitely send them our way. We have so much to offer, and we want to partner with those community members. And I have heard of some potential farm workers strikes. I think there was one planned for this past weekend. I'm not sure if it actually happened, but I heard that there might be a farm worker strike, and that's a little bit scary too, especially because this is where everybody gets their food, right? Not just us as World Harvest, as we're trying to provide services to our community. but also big box stores, right? That's where they get their food. And already with everything that's been going on politically, we're keeping an eye on all of these things that are moving, um, and all of these different changes that might occur. Um, but we haven't heard anything further in terms of farm worker strikes. I think the only thing we've heard was this past weekend, but I think it either got postponed or it got moved for now, but we're keeping a close eye on it. And, we want to be supportive of the community as much as possible. But we do want to get the word out there that this might be something that might be coming. Once we get more information or an update, I'd be happy to send it over to you, Matt, just in case, and just to let your viewers know, and letting as much community members know. That's why we, want to do this type of outreach now, so that people can start saving now. Instead of going to your local box store, right? Come and check World Harvest out. See if it's something that would benefit you and your family. A lot of people, right, just from videos and pictures, it feels like it's unreal because, you don't see this at all. You don't see this from any other nonprofit. You don't see this from any other store. So we encourage people to come if they feel safe, if they have the ability to come in and check us out, see what we're all about, and see what our cards look like in person. I think that would be the best way to just really see the realities of what we're able to do here at World Harvest. And aside from that, we, aside from supporting community and partnering and trying to do as much advocacy as we possibly can, we're also keeping an eye out on different programs that might be cut in the future, like SNAP or Medicaid, right? We're encouraging community to start coming in and accessing the food or accessing our programs now, so that they can save up for later. We know that these essential programs are going to have a huge impact to our communities, not only the community affected by immigration and ICE raids, but community overall in Los Angeles. I believe we have around 1 million Angelinos in just LA County alone that access SNAP. And so we're gearing up for that as well. And we're trying to get the word out there as much as possible, and also get support from your viewers or other viewers out there to support us. We do have a QR code that we're accepting donations to our charity, so that we can continue providing that essential support to the organizations and other nonprofits that we're partnering with that are providing this essential aid to community members. And we know that the need is going to grow, especially with programs, like I mentioned, being cut in the near future. And we want to, do as much advocacy and education as we possibly can, to ensure that people have, enough money to pay their rent, their childcare. Sometimes people get sick, you have insurance, the cost of living is going up. There's so many different things that are coming at us, and we're just trying to be here as a beacon, as a support, for people to have some dignity in the way that they access food, and also everyday life, and the things that they have to pay for, and the things that they have to access.
Well, let me brag a little bit about Matt. Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna brag about Matt.
No,
I know
no.
you have thousands and thousands of viewers and everything. Matt and his wife Leslie and the mother-in-law, they come in here like once a month, twice a month, and they put together a cart. I love when they come in because I know what their mission is. So not only are they fixing their cart, I'm dumping stuff in there because
Yep.
I know they're driving across the border, right? Right, Matt? And then just giving it away. So, for those of you out there that can't do what Leslie and Matt does on a monthly basis, please just donate to us. And then what we will do is to do that service that you otherwise can't drive across the border, or drive down to Santa Monica, or up in Lancaster and give the food out. So we will enlist somebody else into it, and you can donate as little as like $1. It makes a big difference.
So
So
let me put this logo so people can do this. They can grab this right now from the QR code. And from there, like you're saying, that there's ways to support if you're not in the LA area. Even even $1 does something.
yeah.
And so this is, you guys are constantly working on your relationships, maintaining relationships, making new relationships, because this is it takes a village, as they say, but like, you're not just doing this on your own. You need this help. So whatever people can do, we urge people to do what they can, and know that it's an ongoing process. There's not just, you don't just get to the goal line and go, hey, here we are. You have to continue mobilizing, continue outreach, because we don't know when the next crazy thing's going to happen. I mean, I started this segment earlier reminding people how much we've dealt with here in LA. I mean, it's been insane. Just this year, just in 2025, we had the fires, and now and you got these raids, and like it's more than just a national story. This is something that affects everyone, and to a point where we have to continue making adjustments and responding to our environment. And you guys have been doing an incredible job responding and staying, and I guess staying a step or two ahead. So you're anticipating the next thing that we have to deal with as a community, as a village, as a team, or whatever we want to call it. But so with that, I just want to make sure we've given everybody the information and how they can get involved and do the donation. Here's the website again on the screen. Let me know if there's anything I skipped over, anything else you want to throw out there that we weren't able to cover yet.
Yeah, we just encourage everyone, if you're local in the LA area, like we mentioned, we're located in Arlington Heights. We're in the corner of Venice and Arlington. We're open 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. from Monday through Saturday. If you have yourself or someone in your family or your community that needs support and needs to start saving up some extra money, definitely encourage you to come down and check us out, see our program. If you're interested in volunteering, definitely give us a call. If you go on our website, you can find our phone number there, and also our address and store hours. If you'd like to volunteer, call ahead the day before. We can check with our team in terms of shifts available. We definitely encourage you to volunteer and help out as much as you can. And if you're not in the LA area, or even if you are and you want to continue helping local agencies and nonprofits like us, we definitely encourage you to donate. We utilize every donation to give back to the community. Like Matt mentioned, during the fires, we were able to provide pallets of different food, shoes, and different assorted items to the fire survivors that were in shelters in Santa Monica and also in Pasadena. So we're trying to do our best to respond, and with donations like from viewers like you, we're able to provide that emergency aid on the spot, and that really helps us continue our operations and also continue accessing all of the food that you saw on those videos, and also different items that we try to give back to our community. And I think that that's pretty much what we wanted to share. If you know of someone that needs this, share this video, or you can also go on our social media and check out all the different programs. We have so many pictures there of everything that we do and everything that we're moving towards, and also advocating for our community as much as possible. Give us a call. We're always available on the phone if you have any questions for us. And definitely, if you know of an organization or another nonprofit in the area that would like to partner, send them our way. We would love to start a conversation with them and seeing how we can work together to provide essential food. And then lastly, for the Card with a Heart program, just wanted to share, we always try to drive this for our work. We do not require any form of proof of income, ID, or anything like that, anybody can access our services. Even if you feel like you're okay financially, come by and save an extra buck on groceries, and also support your local nonprofit in the area. But we do ask for a $50 contribution for the cart that you saw in those videos. So that's the only thing that we ask for, and a quick questionnaire the first time that you come in. And then from there, we just become your local grocery store that you come into. And also, a lot of our staff is a lot of fun. You'll see Glenn in the front. You'll see me from time to time. So we're always a good time. And we just encourage everybody to spread the word and come check us out.
Everybody here has the aloha spirit. I make sure of that. And, you got to come in here, and, your donation keeps us from getting funding. I love that we're not funded and we're not grant driven. And this way I can help everybody. I don't have to check your income. I don't have to say, oh, how many cars do you have in the driveway? No. You come in, I'm going to help you. Right.
Yeah, I love it. I love what you guys are doing. It takes a village. Like I said, it takes courage. It takes a strong vision. And especially in the time that we're living right now, we need more of you guys doing this and inspiring others as well. So I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing with our audience. And I look forward to next time. Leslie and I are going to come in soon and see you guys. And
you better.
We'll keep spreading the word. And I'll put this QR up one more time. I know people can go back and watch it on the replay as well. We'll have this up. We'll make sure people get this and then go right to it. Or put your phone right up on the screen. Get that right now and save the website. Put that in a bookmark so you guys can go to that and get all the communication, contact. Very personal. You guys, get you right on the phone. You guys get like your phone numbers right there. Just call you guys up, talk to you, and see how you can help. And that's how we have to do it. That's how we're doing it here on the Homeless Left. And keep up the good fight. And let's hope that that people can get through this fear campaign that's been implemented on the people and fight back and get people their courage back. Thank you guys so much, Glenn and Krissia,
Matt.
World Harvest Charities. Thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon. All right, bye.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.